All right, folks, and on the phone right now, we have what could be potentially the next governor of Tennessee. Folks, please welcome Mark Coonrippy Brown, otherwise known as the Raccoon Man. How are you doing, Mark?
Hey, I'm hanging in there. What about yourself?
Doing well up here in Philly. I mean, what an unbelievable story this is for you, Mark. I mean, you know, you posted a couple of these funny YouTube clips. And then all of a sudden you've got this momentum all of a sudden that now you're an internet celebrity. I mean, how was that transition?
Well, it ain't like it happened overnight. It's about 2 years in the making.
2 years? That's when you started, first doing the, raccoon videos?
Yeah.
I mean, those are really, fun. I mean, whose idea was it? I mean, did you say like, hey, somebody should, record me with the raccoon, or like, I mean, how did that?
No, it wasn't my idea at all. It was my girlfriend's idea. She's the one behind the camera. She's the one that comes up with the idea.
What? So your girlfriend is the one that records it?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a pretty good girlfriend to have, that she's willing to record you with your raccoon.
Yeah.
A good eye to, pick up on that. I'm just curious. How did you and Rebekah the raccoon meet? How does a person go about getting a pet raccoon?
Well, I was in the animal control business, and Gun Show, the first raccoon, male, he was orphaned inside the wall up under a bathtub, and I extracted him after the mother had been captured and relocated, not knowing that there was a baby under there. And then Rebekah came to me. There was a local high school that had a chicken coop project, and there was a raccoon in there killing chickens. And the ag teacher ordered 2 students to go in there and kill the mother with a piece of pipe, not knowing that there was a baby in there. And one of the students got the baby, called me, and I went to the rescue.
Wow. I mean, that's actually a nice hearted story there. You had to rescue this one.
Yeah, but I wound up being the bad guy.
Yeah, it's funny how it always winds up that way. So you have experience with wild animals in your professional life, and so you just decided to take on this particular raccoon as a pet then?
I had raised the other one. The local authorities had been called over the first one, and they never did respond, and it left me to raise the baby. So I never did call them the second time because, hey, it was pointless. If you didn't come, over the first one, why even make an attempt to call over the second one?
How did you figure out that, like, the raccoon liked to shower with you?
Well, she just followed you through the house, and she just did what humans did.
So you think, like, the raccoon was trying to, like, mimic what humans do?
Well, probably more, not so much as that, as not wanting to be out of my sight, because she was imprinted.
She was imprinted? What do you mean by that?
Meaning when she had her eyes open, then that's all she knew that she was. No different than when a chicken egg hatches, if the first thing it sees is a human or a dog or a cow or whatever, it's going to follow that, as opposed to its mother if the mother's not there.
Oh, okay.
So it sees you as a parental figure then?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, then there you go. And that's where the relationship formed. And this amazing story that we read last week on the show came from. I have an interesting question. How do you address the raccoon? How do you address Rebekah? Like, do you actually try to talk to the raccoon as a raccoon, or do you just talk it like a human?
Well, I just talk to it like you would any other household pet. Call it by name, different commands. No, come here, stop, quit. They understand.
Just the basic commands. What pet do you think owning a raccoon is the most similar to?
A cross between a cat and a monkey.
Wow.
A cat and a monkey. I thought my cat was a monkey, but apparently it could be much worse. I guess it could be if you have the high flying daredevil antics, right?
Well, this thing could use its front paws like we use our hands. It was capable of undoing any type of latch of coon proofing, so to speak, that I could come up with.
Coon
The
proofing?
things actually evolved overnight.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
It's amazing.
That sounds dangerous to have, but that sounds awesome.
Well,
though.
if we could take that knowledge, that learning ability that they're capable of doing overnight, and inject that into some humans that I know, it could be a scientific breakthrough.
Yeah, that would definitely be a breakthrough.
Yeah. Some people could definitely use a boost of problem-solving ability.
Oh yeah, I've got close friends that don't know how to tie their shoe.
Oh gosh.
So wait, all right. Would your friend who would not be able to tie his shoes, do you think he could escape some of the things that Rebekah has?
That raccoon could probably taught some of my close friends how to tie their shoes, as well as hold a fork and eat.
Wow.
Wow. So Rebekah's also very polite. She handles her fork well.
Yes.
That's awesome. How about, speaking of these, coon proofing, what's the weirdest thing you've found Rebekah doing in your house?
Well, interesting enough that back during when Gun Show was alive, I received a pocket knife for Christmas as a gift from my daughter, and I had lost it. I didn't know what I did with it. I knew it was somewhere in the house, but I just didn't know where. And I tore the place apart. Well, Gun Show came and went, died, whatever. And then Rebekah had her free run of the house. And one day I saw her playing with something, and lo and behold, it was my pocket knife. Now, Gun Show evidently had taken it and hidden it somewhere, and Rebekah had found it.
Wow.
So I've been reunited with my pocket knife.
So Rebekah the raccoon is actually kind of a master at hide and seek. She can find things.
Yeah.
Your story just really touched us on this show. We thought, it was so sad that you had Rebekah taken away from you. What has the journey been like trying to gain enough support to get Rebekah back?
This journey has been devastating, and we are looking for some type of closure. We had called numerous times to the TWRA, the governor's office. We had written letters. We had the entire United States and other countries signed petitions for us. We actually petitioned out in front of Capitol Hill, down in Nashville, and it just fell on deaf ears. And I finally decided that, hey, it's time that I let the people know that our government doesn't care. They're not listening to the cries of the people. They're more concerned with other issues. We are the people, so to speak. And it's time that our voice is heard. And so I decided to run for governor, and I've pretty much stirred up the stink here in the volunteer state.
Well, let me ask you that. I mean, what elevated it to you felt that you needed to run for governor? I mean,
I had made mention back last fall that the Honorable Governor Haslam, who I voted for, I said it was going to be kind of awkward that if Haslam is running for governor again in 2014, how is he going to avoid questions from the media about Rebekah when he's got other things to do? And I said, do not forget the raccoon vote. And lo and behold, here I am.
I like that, the raccoon vote.
That's right.
So let me ask you this. All right. Let's say you win. Let's say you're the next governor of Tennessee. What is going to be your first act as governor?
My first act of governor is to reform animal laws. I did not take this raccoon from the wild. It was orphaned. And Tennessee law now says that any wildlife cannot be taken in by a person. Okay, so that means if a baby robin falls from a nest, you take it in the house to try to nurture it, you violated the law. If a child picks up a box turtle, takes it to school for show and tell, he has violated the law. And we need a little bit of common sense when it comes to that type of law. No, do not go out and rob a baby out from under its mother. But in the event the mother is dead or whatever, the baby has been orphaned. Mm-hmm. And orphan having its own meaning, then it should be up to that person or persons that meet the requirements to know how to care for said animal in that particular species. Then they ought to be able to raise it without Big Brother kicking the door in and coming in and seizing it and sticking the needle in it. Wow. The Rebekah law. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Then we'll worry about other things. We've got to cater to the people first.
And that would definitely be newsworthy, especially if you complete the circle and you call it Rebekah's Law or something. Like, that would be a great conclusion to this story.
That's what I'm here for. I am the voice of the people.
And I also wanted to ask you this question. All right. In your announcement video that you were going to run for Tennessee governor, you said that you're going to be unlike the other politicians, and that if you wanted to call your governor, you would be there to answer. And I've got to admit, sir, when I got your number in an email, I called that number. I thought for sure I was going to get like an assistant or something, or maybe like your girlfriend. And instead, I actually got you. So I want to give you props that the number that is, that people refer to whenever they're dealing with contacts, with your campaign is your number. That's awesome.
Well, I mean, even in Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, whatever, we've all got state representatives, congressmen or whatever, and they all have their phone number posted on their website. Well, they just as well post a 900 number because they're not going to answer the phone. And that's wrong. Do not post a phone number that you're not going to answer if you are voted for and put in office by the people. Answer the phone.
Wow,
that's all I'm saying. If you put me in office, I at least owe it to you to answer the phone when you call.
Well, you really are the people's champion. You have a great cause that people can get behind. You're very personal in the fact that you answer your own phone calls, something that a lot of politicians probably don't do.
All of them don't.
Yeah, all of them don't do that.
Yeah.
I'll never stay out of touch with the people who put me in office.
Well, that's commendable.
That's just wrong. You don't get elected to an office and go inside and lock the door and pull the blinds.
That's right. That is definitely a good stance.
Today. And like I said in the video, we got to bring this country back one state at a time, and we're starting with Tennessee.
Wow. So what do you think your chances are of actually winning this race?
Slim and none.
But you're still going to try, right?
Well, from what I've gathered so far, every one of the Democrats just running has dropped out of the race because this is going down in history as one of the most bizarre elections in the state. I mean, in the history of the United States election. So we'll see what happens. But even in my case, a no win is still a win by the publicity we have brought to government not paying attention to the cries of the people.
That's right, because hey, right here in Philadelphia, we picked up your story and we covered it last week on our show. So I mean, your message is getting out there.
Well, I'd say we are one nation under God, not above God.
Well, we hope that you do well in the upcoming primary, and when is the primary? Isn't it more towards the summer? August.
So we've got all summer to kick up a little dust, as they say.
Yeah, I like that attitude. Kick up the dust.
Like I said before, I'm not here to smooth anybody's fur. I'm going to tell it like it is, as they say. And if I can't get an amen for you, I'm going to say it myself, amen.
I like that.
Yeah.
If I don't get an amen out of you, I'm going to say amen for myself.
That's right. If I can't get one out of you, I'm going to say it for myself, amen.
I like that. I like that slogan.
That is a great attitude.
I'll finish on one more question. All right. And this also has to do with the video that you released. In the video, you mentioned an analogy beginning with an apple and you didn't finish it. Do you have any idea where you're going with that, or?
Yeah, that was my little bit of George Bush humor.
All right.
Yeah.
Everybody loves humor.
Yeah, that was my little George Bushism for the day.
George Bushism.
Rather than make up a word, I just had a brain fart deliberately in honor of our great president, George Bush.
That was awesome. I gotta admit, that sold that clip.
It really did.
Hey, it worked.
It did. It
did.
got our attention.
That's right. It got our attention. It got us talking about it.
Yeah, you were right.
Yeah, like I said, just like the purity of this apple. Well, I don't know where I was going with that, but anyway.
Yes.
That was my little Bushism.
Well, I gotta admit, those are pretty funny. Maybe you might want to go into comedy after this run for Tennessee governor.
Well, I mean, wherever you see a politician make a campaign speech, throw humor in there. It's about time somebody did.
I just want to say that your story is amazing, and what a noble cause. I think you really, even if you don't win the governorship, I think you've done a great job in raising awareness for animal rights and just trying to create change in that field.
Before I go, remember, Swamp Music 12. Come and join our Facebook page, or at least visit us at Swamp Music 12 at YouTube.com.
There you go, Swamp Music 12. Check it out online. Do a Google search. I'm sure you'll be able to find all of his videos. Once again, Mark, thank you for coming on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. You did live up to your promise. I called you up and you answered.
There you go.
That's right. He's changing things. Folks, Mark Coonrippy Brown, the Raccoon Man, here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Thank you for coming on the show.
Okay, you be particular.
What was that?
What was that?
I said you be particular.
Be particular? Is that your way of saying goodbye?
That's right.
I like
Oh,
that.
that's
Be
cool.
particular.
I'm going to have to remember that.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Mark. It was great to talk to you.
Thank you.
All right, man.